Welcome back to the Great Books Quest. Today we are going to be talking about Aristotle, Ethics Book 1. So, the main premise of this book is finding that ultimate good, that ultimate end that we human beings strive for in everything that we do. There's things like war and military where the ultimate end is victory. There are things like medicine where the ultimate end is health. There are things like horse racing where the ultimate end is to breed a good horse, to train it, have it perform well, and win. But all of these different arts, these different sciences, they all have different ends. And it's specific to each science. But what is that ultimate end? Can we somehow get to the bottom of this, to the very, very first principle of human existence, the ultimate chief good? That's what this whole entire book is about. And Aristotle posits that this chief end, this chief good, many people believe it to be something like honor, but it's not honor, because honor is bestowed upon you by other people. It is something that is not in your control. So there's one criteria that we have there right off the bat. For something to be an ultimate good, it has to be under your control. It has to be something that you can do. For there's a part in this book, Book 1, where Aristotle starts talking about fortunes, and can you really call a man blessed if he's doing really well now, but down the line there's some really bad things can transpire in his life? Is he really blessed? The thing is, it has to be under your control. So that's one principle here of what that ultimate good is. And Aristotle posits that this good, this ultimate good, is happiness. Because it's something that we aim for in and of itself, and every single pursuit that we undertake as human beings, ultimately, it's for the sake of happiness. Now then, that begs another question. What is happiness? What kind of happiness are we going for? He says it's not this cheap happiness that many men associate with pleasures. It's not. It's something much more lasting. And now we'll get into political science. He says that is the chief aim of political science. It's to figure out what makes a man do noble and good and just acts, and how do you get a man to want to do these noble and good and just acts? And so, in our political inquiry, we have to inquire. In our inquiry, we have to inquire about the ultimate end, that is happiness. So, I thought about this while I was reading, while I was taking notes, and I remembered the motto of our founding fathers, America: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So why is it life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Why is it not life, liberty, and happiness? Or why is it not pursuit of life, pursuit of liberty, pursuit of happiness? Because surely there are times in our lives where we have to pursue life, grab onto it, hold on to it with all of our might. There are times in our life when we have to pursue liberty, grab onto it, hold on to it with all of our might. But happiness, why is it the pursuit of happiness? I posit that you can only pursue happiness when those first two conditions are fulfilled. If you don't have life, then there is nothing to pursue. That's right off the bat. So life is a prerequisite. And then liberty, freedom. If you're a slave, if you are not free, then all of a sudden you don't have that. You can't pursue happiness if you're imprisoned in a camp and you're under the whim of somebody else, or a tyrant, or a dictator, or even somebody benevolent. Even if you're under a benevolent rule, you're still not your own person, and you can't pursue happiness in the way that you see fit. So, you need life, you need liberty, And then you need to be able to have that pursuit of happiness. Starting to feel like that movie, The Pursuit of Happiness. What a classic film. So again, why is it the pursuit of happiness? Why is it not just happiness? Does that mean you can never achieve happiness? No. No. And this is what Aristotle gets at further down as we dig deeper into this book. Happiness is not some state that we have. He compares happiness to the Olympic Games. He says being happy and pursuing happiness is akin to being an Olympic athlete. You have to constantly take actions that are noble and just. And happiness is the byproduct of these noble and just actions when they are habitually taken over a lifetime. You've heard that phrase, excellence then is not an act but a habit. So happiness is obtained through our habits. And he says it would be such a cruel state of affairs if we were created in certain ways and some people were apportioned happier lives and others were apportioned lives that weren't happy, and that it's just all up to chance. It's all up to the winds of change, and however they blow in your life, well, that's how you're going to end up. And he says, no, that's not how it is. It has to be, again, we're revisiting this point earlier in the video, it has to be under your control. That's the key point that we should take away from this. Happiness is truly under your control. And yes, there are certain terrible things that can happen to a person in their life. And we can't really know. They say we can't really know if somebody is truly happy until they've lived their entire life and we see what is the final outcome of this person's life. We can't know that until the very end, but we can posit it with very, very high probability that somebody is happy because they bear misfortune. That's the word that he uses. They bear misfortune very nobly. And so you can tell from the habit that they have of bearing misfortunes that they'll be able to bear greater misfortunes as time goes on, if they were to occur. And they may not. They may or they may not. But the bottom line is, it's all about the character. It's all about what kind of character you're building to get to that happiness, to get to that peace that we all long for, that we all strive to embody. We'll see you next video, and we're going to get into politics. For now, remember that happiness is under your control. It can be trained. Think of it like the Olympics. Take care.